In 23, he says, உள்ளதுணர உணர்வு வேறின்மையின் உள்ளதுணர்வாகும் முந்தி பர உணர்வே நாம் ஆயுளம் முந்தி பர. This is a very important slokam. We have seen in number of occasions that உள்ளது, that which exists, unara, to know, unarvu wherein, because there is no other consciousness, because at that state there is only one sat being. That being has to know itself because there is no another conscious, like mind or whatever, to know the existence of the being, of the sat. So, unarve naam ayulam undipara. So, we, that is the original I, that is the sat, is what is known as I. The sat is nothing but I. Also, because of the non-existence of another consciousness to know that which exists or the reality or sat is itself the chit, the consciousness. And that is me. That sat chit is nothing but what we call it as I. I am I. When we say I am I, it is nothing but the sat chit, the original sat chit. And since the sat, besides, there is nothing besides sat, even if there has to be a chit, it has to be rolled inside that sat. So, Sat Chit Ananda is the nature. Sat Chit and Ananda, they are not three different entities or attributes. They are the nature of the Parabrahman. Because we need some words to explain, we call it to understand, to communicate in the language of duality. We call it as Sat, which is existence. We call it as Chit, which is consciousness. We call it as Anandam, which is bliss, infinite bliss. But we are also very, very carefully committing this to our mind that they are not three different entities or attributes. They are the nature. They are there only to describe the Satchitananda, the Parabrahma. So this is what is taught in this 23rd song. Ulladu unara, because of the non-existence of another consciousness to define the Sat, to make us understand the Sat. If you remember on the small talk Sat Chit Ananda that was posted, we said there is a Sat called Arunachala, and in order for us to know the Sat called Arunachala, a Chit called Ramanam seemingly came forth. Seemingly is a very important word here. Seemingly came forth because that Sat is not other than Chit. And the reason for why this, what is the purpose of this Ramanam? To make us know this being called Arunachala. And why does this entity called Ramanam explain to us the being called Sat Arunachalam? Only for us to be in Ananda, the third nature of Satchitananda. Only for us always to be in that Ananda, the infiniteness. This is the purpose of explaining. So we use various, and unfortunately, till we go to that level, we are going to be using dualistic language, because our race communication is not possible. Because as of now, I am here, you are there, she is there, he is there, everybody is there. But in the ultimate truth, we are all one. Like we saw, if I have to explain somebody the content of my dream, I will have to tell somebody what happened in the dream. Similarly, if I have to explain the content of my Jagrat, I will have to tell him what happened in my life. If I have to explain the content of my deep sleep, nothing is there. Because there I, he, him, you, she, it, everything is Satchitananda Parabrahma. So no explanation is needed. If you go and tell them, I slept very nice yesterday. Nobody's going to, how was it? What happened? Nobody's going to even ask. Because they know, they immediately understand, because it is them. They are that sleep. That is their real nature. So nobody is going to ask such questions about deep sleep, but all questions about dream and Jagrat, waking state, will arise. So in this song, because Satchitananda, Sat and Chit are one and the same, as we learned. For us, if we get a good hold or grasp of Upadesa Undiyar or Upadesa Saram, as it is called in Sanskrit, nothing else is needed. Nothing else is needed. In fact, whether or not it will be great and it is mandatory according to, in order to gain more clarity to learn உள்ளது 40. But even this, once we apply, we are in a clean mind without giving scope for pramada, without giving scope for externalities to creep in. If we just do mananam of this Upadesa Sara, it's enough. It is enough. We don't need to keep on, learning more and more things. This is someone's substance that is given clearly. So we will spend one more session to conclude the summary of Upadesa Saram. I wanted to keep it a summary, but unfortunately, I could not summarize it beyond this because there's no meaning in doing that. Just reading the sloka and just reading the one-line meaning and then going. No, even though that was the original intention, the practicality, I could not appreciate the practicality of that approach. So, at the cost of being repetitive, I thought we should go through this process again and again and again as much as we can. Arunachala.